music from funk to soul to reggae to R&B, house to salsa, and much, much more. We call it The Groove each and every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. Keep it locked. It's the crowd blitzing, baby. You know how we do. We'll see you on the air. Peace, peace, peace.
Attention all musicians, bands, associations, clubs, and organizations that represent collective styles of music across Canada. Now is the time to rebuild our collective music nation genres like hip-hop, R&B, jazz, soul, reggae, gospel, and more united. The Collective Music Nation is a non-profit organization committed to the development of collective music. Free memberships are available now. The Collective Music Nation. One voice, strength in unity.
Nothing makes you look, feel, and perform better than a tailor-made suit. Just like a tailor-made suit, a mortgage is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Canadian Tailored Mortgage Solutions will customize a mortgage to perfectly suit your needs. Come and get fitted for your mortgage today at 1-877-834-9346 or reach us on the web at ctmortgagesolutions.com. COVID safety protocols are in place. Brokerage license number 13228.
The number one hit music station.
You're listening to iLive Radio. Changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nope, it's Mary J, ain't a damn thing changed. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nope, it's Mary J, ain't a damn thing changed. Nope, it's Mary J, ain't a damn thing changed. She got it going on, she got it going on. Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. Nope, it's Mary J, ain't a damn thing changed. Nope, it's Mary J, ain't a damn thing changed. She got it going on, she got it going on.
Good evening. Welcome to the Sound Table. Streaming on iLive Radio every single Tuesday night, 6 p.m. till 7 p.m. EST. The show is sponsored by French Penny. Jump onto Instagram and follow them. We are French Penny. Shouts out to the French Penny crew. So we were due to have a conversation with a couple of DJ legends from Toronto. The segment was to be called DJs in the Six. Unfortunately, one of them had to drop out, so we decided to postpone it. So we've got a bit of a call-in show today. So this is an open format, open forum. So if you're an artist, event promoter, a DJ, music enthusiast, event promoter, event owner, venue owner, whoever you are, or you just want to get involved in the conversation,
you need to get your hand correct. Stones playing the necklace. I wear so much blood on my neck, it put bruises on the back of my neck. That's why cats is upset.
Send me a DM over on the Instagram, or jump into the chat room over on YouTube where we're streaming live. I'll send you the details of how to get on. So don't forget to spread the word, share the link. All right, so I've got myself and Mr. P. Morris in the studio, and we have already on the line over here, if I think we've got her, Miss Gwendolyn Collins. Are you there, Gwenny?
You got me, baby. You got me.
There you go.
Well, somebody got you.
See, I put out the name, I put out the word, and suddenly Gwendolyn appears, as always, like clockwork. You're like the Candyman.
I am.
You know, you jump on, it's like Gwendolyn, 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 and Gwendolyn appears. Don't worry, we haven't got you on video, man. We've got you just on audio only. We haven't set it up for video for Zoom.
I put my lip gloss on and everything.
I know, I get it, man. But you know, you don't always have to see your wonderful face all the time. Like, this is a very impromptu thing. And in fact, what I had actually planned in a couple of weeks' time was actually to reach out to you and the Virgo Lounge crew to come on to discuss the Virgo Lounge and what you guys are doing and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're not
We need that.
We need that, right? Okay, cool.
We do.
On the sound table. How's it going, Gwenny? Sorry, just to let everyone know, this is Gwendolyn Collins on the line. Gwendolyn Collins is the godmother. Think of the Godfather in the Godfather, with all the, she's the godmother for me, of the scene down in the DMV, and is the owner of the Virgo Lounge, who really does what we do with the Soulfest Lounge, but down on the other side of the borders. And we've been partners for how long now, Gwenny?
Wow. Probably at least 4 years now.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Yeah, indeed. And
a beautiful partnership it has been, Jay. I'm always so appreciative of people who will deal with me.
Yeah, of course. Well,
I know how I am.
All right, Gwenny. We won't go there. We won't go there. Any comments there, Mr. Patrick Morris?
I have no idea what she's talking about because it's been nothing but love from Gwenny.
Absolutely.
Hi, Patrick.
What's up, girl?
Except when it comes to my barbecue, of course, and then all of a sudden that's the hate comes in. Like there's not enough food and blah blah blah. All right, so this is an open forum sound table. We've got an hour. I'm gonna cut the ads. We're gonna play no ads through this. We're gonna take no ad breaks. We're just gonna talk. So Gwenny, what's been going on with yourself outside of the Virgo line? Let's talk to you as Gwendolyn Collins, the artist. What's going on with Gwendolyn Collins, the artist, during this whole pandemic? Yes, as the artist during this pandemic.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Not much is going on because the pandemic has, I guess, messed with me in a different way. I'm always so hype and happy when I see how these artists are just releasing all this new music. I'm so proud of them. I'm like, wow, what courage. For me, honestly, the desire has kind of gone down as far as Gwendolyn Collins, the artist, the singer, the songwriter. But my desire is still really strong when it comes to wanting to highlight other artists and support other artists. And you and I have talked about this, Jay. I feel like that this is a big part of who I am. And perhaps that's the part that will never go away.
Yeah, this is true. You've always been very much what am I looking for? A proponent and an advocate and a champion for independent artists. Yeah. I've always argued with you that sometimes you don't champion yourself enough, but that's neither here nor there. That's a whole different conversation. But I know you've always been a big champion for independent artists. I mean, let's talk about it, and I guess we can get into some of this Virgo Lounge stuff right now. Like, what's going on with the Virgo Lounge artists? And I call them the Virgo Lounge artists because they are the Virgo Lounge artists. I don't care what they turn around and say.
Well, the really cool thing is that I have been keeping up with most of the people who roll really hard with me within the Virgo Lounge. So I know Yzma completed his EP. It's all mixed. It's all mastered. He's just, doing the work that I keep encouraging him to do, before the release date. So Yzma's doing that. I do know that Alicia is working on a new group song with her group. They are so bomb. It's called Pink Polish. They're working on some new music. David, who you met, amazing vocalist. I actually will be releasing a song with him. This is a song that I wrote pre-pandemic. So we're actually just waiting to get in the studio to do that. Blez is always working on music.
Where is Blez?
I did ping her. I hope she'll be able to join us.
Don't tell Blez. Don't let me have to come and get her.
Because we will, right? Blez, she put out a snippet of something that she's working on, and it sounds so good. But one of the things with Blez is like she's really trying, and she's very public with this, really just trying to make a decision on how she wants to release her music in the future because of the way music is just going through the water so quickly. People get your new music, they listen to it for like a week or two, not everyone, and then it's just on to the next thing. So she's trying to figure out how I want to release it, who I want to send it to, and things of that nature.
I mean, okay, let's kind of touch on the longevity of music, right? And how quickly these things turn around in the environment that we're in right now. So, I mean, I don't see how it's even avoidable that's going to happen. I mean, in terms of releasing a song, right? is the expectation from someone like Blez that the song is going to be in rotation for a period of time so that she starts to recoup from her investment? Or what was she trying to attain by it being released a certain way and being given out a certain way?
Well, I think based on her own experience, Blez very fortunately was able to have her well, I'm all about online radio, but I also do like that many of the artists that I know, their stuff has been able to go more on terrestrial or more stuff like Sirius XM. So Blez had the opportunity to have her songs played on Sirius XM, and they played it for months, for a very long time. So I guess you can get that feeling if I send it there and they play it for months, and then I send it to this other DJ and he only plays it for 1 or 2 times. It can be a little disheartening. Okay. So regardless of what the expectations are, music, I say that artists, I think sometimes we get a little too romantic with our music. We may not always want to fully understand it. This is what it is. We can't change the world. Like one week we're talking about Trump, the next week we're talking about Gorilla Girl. It's the same way.
Hold on, Gorilla Girl.
Did you bring up Gorilla Girl?
Enlighten me. What's Gorilla Girl?
You don't know what Gorilla Girl is?
What's Gorilla Girl?
Oh my God.
I'm just saying, like with social media and with the internet, like everything just moves so quickly. You move from one thing to the next thing. And I think that also I noted that also happens with music. And then we have so many artists releasing music who I don't personally agree that we should have all these artists, but I understand that now because it's so easy to release the music, everybody can be a damn artist now.
Well, that's technology, right? Technology is given access. Like, what skills do you really need to be able to make music now? You need to learn how to use a computer. You can do stuff that programs beats. You've got programs that will do bass lines for you and chord progressions for you now and plugins, and it's so easy to do things, right? And then you can mix and master on your computer and upload it to SoundCloud. Mean it's good. Hey, I'm not saying whether it's good or it's bad. I'm saying that access is there for people that wouldn't necessarily be able to get access. Before, to get into a studio, you had to have a certain level of talent, right? You need to be able to play an instrument, play the keyboards. You need to know how to work a digital mixing desk. You need to know understand how to really produce or engineer a song, and it takes time. And that level of investment shows in the end product. Yeah. Now it's, let me go get a hot beat from a beat maker. Let me throw some vocals over the top, layer them, and then put it out, and we say that's music.
You forgot the auto-tune.
No, auto-tune's done, as far as I'm concerned.
But you know what, Jay, for me, because even though I am an independent artist, I really am a pretty active listener of music. And there are people who always rise to the top of me. There are just certain artists where I feel like their music is at this level. Well, you can't see me. Their music is at 9 and 10 compared to other music that might be at 3, 4, 5. And so those are the people who I gravitate towards. I can't wait to hear their new music. Like Deborah Bond is releasing new music. I can't wait to download it because I know that she's going to give me quality, regardless of whether I may like every song, like every hook. I know that it's going to be a quality project.
Gotcha. Well, this is true. I mean, people like Deborah Bond, but I mean, when's the last time she released something?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, right? So those people that take time to release their stuff, because they have an inbuilt. Here's my thing. That I think these people that have that kind of came in that MySpace era where they still had an inbuilt audience that they had fans, right? There's Deborah Bond fans that wait for Deborah Bond to release music, right? Yeah. And when she does, all her fans are going to pick it up, and then people on the peripheries are going to pick it up. She's going to pick up more fans. A little bit harder for people breaking in right now, because where's your fans? How do you build fans these days? What is it, based on your Spotify following?
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I still feel like there's a lot of underground artists that may not have as many followers as Deborah Bond, but I still know that their music is going to be good.
Right.
Just good.
Right. And you know that because you've heard what they've done before.
Right.
And you've dug it, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's on your previous experience that you personally like what you heard, and you say, well, you know what? If they release something else, it's going to be dope. I'm gonna look out for that.
Yeah.
Flip side is, and I'll talk from the perspective of being a DJ. If I'm a DJ and music's coming at me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which it does, how do you pick the music that you really want to highlight? because everybody
Well,
wants
that's
to get on,
just
right?
it. Do you pick the music you want to highlight, or do you just play everything that's sent to you because it was sent to you and everybody deserves a chance to be heard?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like we actually, and let's kind of talk about this a little bit. So you know, for iLive and our content, you know, we kind of like try to support everybody, as many people as we can. So we used to throw like lots of stuff onto our autopilot, good or bad, to give everybody opportunity to get their music heard. Now we actually have a committee every week that reviews our music and new music coming in, and we turn around and we say, yeah, that's going to go here, that's going to go there. We're going to feature.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not on that committee.
Would you like to join the committee, Gwendolyn?
I would like to join the committee.
Absolutely. You know, we're trying to get a consensus, right? And try to get some consistency. And not only that, we decide how long we're going to play that music for. So, for example, we have things in playlists: A rotation, B rotation, C rotation. The whole idea of that rotation is it lasts for a quarter, like 3 months minimum. That song is going to be in rotation somewhere on our station before we think about exiting it out. So it's not perfect, but you know, it's better than changing your playlist every goddamn week.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like we're just it's like between a rock and a hard place. I feel like I've been kind of lucky. We talked about this when I came out back in 2014. I just think things were different. It wasn't as many artists, even though we still had the technology. You just didn't have as many people. DJs played your music a lot longer. Like I was on one of those charts. I won't talk about charts for 22 weeks, but now, you know, people are on charts for 3 weeks. Like you're number 3, then you fall off. And it also I had different opportunities happen in 2014 based on DJ play. I was able to, you know, I've been overseas 5 times now, you know, some on my own, some where I was booked. So I just feel like the world has changed so much when it comes to music. As an artist, it can be a little disappointing. So for me, I'm not as quick to want to go ahead and release new music, but I still have that passion for other things. I didn't tell you, I'm actually going to be doing some creative writing for Simon Solgig. He has an online magazine that's coming out.
Yeah, so here's the interesting thing, right? And we'll talk about all of that and how everyone's trying to lay their foundations for the next 1 to 3 years going forward, because they understand that this is not going to change anytime soon. And that's good. I mean, I'm glad that Simon Solgig has reached out to you and that you're going to do some creative writing for his online magazine. And I think his online magazine is going to be successful. I think, however, and this is my own personal opinion, is that once again, too many cooks in the kitchen, the message is going to get lost. In other words, there needs to be far more collaboration with the content owners. You know, it's like everyone's trying to carve out their own piece of the pie and become this dominant force within this particular niche or genre or lane or platform, rather than saying, hey, you do this, and I know you do this, I know you do this. Why don't we come together and everyone contribute to this one thing which is beneficial to everybody, right? That's how I look at it. It's just unfortunate other people in the space don't look at it that way.
So many don't. And I even say that for artists. So as far as all the presenters and the different radio stations, I've always felt like it would be so amazing, like how you and I came together. Look at the things that we have done just by putting my team with your team. I think we've done some pretty amazing things. Yeah. And I try to really suggest that to artists. So I was on a listening party. I crashed a listening party. It was True Souls. I totally crashed it, right? And his CD is really nice. And he had 4 female independent artists who collaborated with him, wrote their parts, and they're on his CD on 4 different songs. In my mind, from a business perspective, that means you now have 4 more people who are able to help market this music for you for free. And it sounds good. Like he even had someone on there who was like, oh, I like this song. I kind of thought it was a filler, but then once the female artist started singing the second verse, I just really fell in love with the song. So even that, when you start adding these different dimensions, whether it's music, whether it's a concert, where it's a soul fest, no matter what it is, I just think that when you can give that variety and when you can collaborate, something really special can happen that you can't always do on your own.
This is true. And this is the other piece, right? Is that for me, it's like, and I like the True Soul project. You know, Kemi Solola's on it. You know, I'll go Kemi.
Yes, and her song is dope. I didn't even notice she had that little spunky sound in her. But go ahead.
Well, she so has that spunky sound in her.
I love it.
But yeah, so you know, once again, there's opportunities that people could take advantage of, which they don't, because they're really looking at themselves and not looking at the bigger picture. So let's take, you know, when we did our collaborative project with the Soulfest 2020.
Yeah.
We have to start talking about Soulfest 2021, by the way. But Soulfest 2020, you know, and we came together, Virgo Lounge and iLife came together, we did it online, etc. And then what came out of that was the Optimistic track, right?
Right.
Where we just got everybody together to put something together, and everyone started to get connected. Now, what you would hope is that people would have taken that option on opportunity to say, hey, I really like what you did here. Why don't we go do some stuff together? Guess who's joining the call? Blez is joining the call. I know. So I would
lounge in the house.
And I would love for that to continue. But that's what I mean by setting the foundations for collaboration. And I think that the problem I have with not with Simon Soul Gigs in particular, but with some of the way they go about doing this stuff is it's mine. It's just me. I'm going to pull all these resources together and I'm going to be shown that I'm going to be the dominant platform. Look, like, you know, you got a guy over there with the urban influencer. What's his name? Keyjam.
Yeah.
He's doing a great job. Now, if I was Simon, I'd be like, hey, Keyjam, let's come together. I've got this, you got that, you got content, I'm going to get content. Let's try and do a collaborative project. That's what makes sense.
Yeah.
But everybody seems to be going in their own lane. Let's just.
I mean, the way Keyjam does it, though, he does kind of bring everyone in. But I get what you're saying. If it was one platform versus 5 platforms,
that's right,
then it probably could be way more effective. And
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I've always felt with my partnership with you. What I felt with the Virgo Lounge. Like there's no denying that I probably couldn't have, you know, done a lot of the things that I did by myself. And
nor could we have done a lot of things we did without you. Facts. That's facts. What's going on, Blez?
Oh.
Don't worry, you're not on camera. It's not a camera one.
Hello. Oh, I know I'm not on camera, honey.
I can't see the
I
picture.
made sure of that.
Oh, you made sure. I'm not even going to ask any questions there, Blez. I'm not even going to say anything to you. How are you, Blez?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. In fact, we were just talking about you and talking about your little snippet that you put out and that you've got an upcoming release, hopefully at some point in the future. And what Gwenny was saying is that you're still in this consideration mode about how you're going to put this stuff out. So
yeah, I don't have an upcoming release right now.
Oh,
I'm creating new music. That will always be. I am just, you know, I've expressed this before. I'm just not in love with the process and all of the rigmarole that you have to go through for your song to be played for 2 seconds and then it's done.
And that's what we were just talking about, actually. So from your perspective, what is this rigmarole? How do you see the rigmarole right now?
Okay. So after you've, you know, spent however much time that's necessary to finish a song or whatever you're doing, a song, a EP, album. So you're going to release a single, and, you know, if you're going to have the song serviced, you have to get those funds together. You have to coordinate with whatever company you're using, timing as far as, you know, promotion for the single. Then you get 10,000 emails from different presenters and DJs because they want the song. So you have to do that. And it's just all that you have to go through to release a single. For me, the return is abysmal.
Abysmal in terms of monetary, in terms of marketing.
It's not just monetarily. Monetarily, yes, but I mean, you kind of go into this expecting that, especially as a truly independent artist, you don't expect that you're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, that's not it. But it's not even the money. It's the music means so much to each individual artist, and it is just tossed aside within a matter of weeks.
Right.
I feel like.
Right.
And now there are DJs and presenters that don't do that, but there are not enough. Everybody is so hot on trying to get the newest song and be the first one to play the newest song. I remember growing up anticipating your favorite artist's next album and playing that thing until you couldn't play it anymore. And it's just not like that. And I know that part of that is because of technology. Things have changed. That's fine. But I just feel like the music there is no appreciation for artistry. I just feel like I don't know. I'm just not feeling it. I'm like, nope. I'm trying to shake this off. I'm trying to shake this feeling off. But it's lingering, and it's got a hold on me, I have to admit.
And Blez, one of the things I was telling Jay before you came is because I think you've been able to experience both sides of it because of your experience with Dave Dickinson and Sirius XM Heart and Soul.
Yes. Yes, I mean, I have been lucky enough to get a lot of airplay on Sirius XM. And for people who aren't familiar with that platform is not that easy to get on. And the song that Dave Dickinson played was Black Girl Magic, but that was not the first time that I had reached out to him. And he's kind of a hard nut to crack, but I have to say that I have been lucky in that he has really been instrumental in my, the songs that I have released, getting as far as they've gotten.
Right.
Even with the little snippet that I put up, he was like, "You know what to do," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Yeah.
What do you mean by you know what to do? What do you need to do? Send him one.
Send him the song.
Right. Okay. So this is a very interesting conversation, and the reason why is because obviously we do radio, but we also play on the other side of the fence with helping promote artists in newer markets, right? And there is a method to the madness, and I think to your point, there is this whole idea of the new all the time in certain areas in the world, right? So when I say certain areas in the world, I'm referring to the UK. The UK is like insatiable when it comes to new music because there's a lot of ego there amongst the DJs.
Are you talking about presenters though, or listeners? Because I'm
talking about presenters.
Okay.
Not listeners. Listeners,
and that's part of what I'm talking about. Yeah. Some of the UK DJs, they're who I'm talking about.
Right, exactly. And let's be straight. They're a very small minority but very loud a very loud part of the DJ community in the UK as a whole. All right. So there's this perception that they rule the roost, and if you don't go through them, it doesn't get played. Like that's garbage. Like there's life outside London, and a lot of these people that listen to your music and that will appreciate your music, exist outside of London, right? So I think there's an idea because of the pressure that's exerted by these DJs. I know this because we did a release on one of our artists over here, Jusso. And literally it was I sent out a pre-release on a track to certain DJs.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the requirement of that, they have to send me some feedback because I collect data to share with the artist, right? In terms of what they feel about the track, etc. But the amount of requests that this artist started getting for drops and specials, and I want this and I need that, and I was like, listen, stop.
See, no.
Yeah, that, like,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, all of that stuff. Like, why? Like, what do you need a drop for from the artist? Like, you know.
Yep, and that is how I don't want to do no drops. Don't ask me for no drops. Don't ask me for don't. If I release a song the way that I feel right now, I'm going to release a song because I want to release it. I'm not doing no drops. I'm not sending you the song. If you want it,
go buy
spend
it.
$1.29. That is where I am. I have a list of DJs that would automatically get my music because they are still playing my music.
Right.
Outside of that list, I'm sorry, but you can kiss my ass.
Can I add to that?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm a little opposite. Like, I don't particularly have a problem sending my music because there was a time when your music was your biggest marketing tool. So Jay, you know, I've been in Canada and I'm like, here's 20 CDs. Can you guys help me pass these out?
Yeah.
I'm not looking for anyone to purchase them. What I'm looking for is a future listener who will go and download my music, who will come to the show the next time I'm in Canada, in London. So it's just because we're in COVID, you know, that marketing doesn't matter as much. But for me, my music was my marketing. I mean, I try to get a return on my investment, of course, but at some point, my CD is my marketing flyer.
But here's the difference, all right? I mean, take your example that you use, right? Like when you came up here, you gave out CDs. Like, remember the first time you guys came here? When you went to did the Soul Fest, not Soul Fest Lounge, but we did the Open Arts program, you had CDs, you were giving out stuff. Yeah, I get it. It's in a defined space with defined people. Yeah. There's parameters around. It's a little bit different, right? The DJ community, right, and presenter community over in the UK, and I'm picking on the UK specifically because this is the problem, is that it's not about you as an artist. It's about them getting access to music that no one else has got right now to say they've played it, and this is their attitude. If you play, who's gonna break it first? One, two. If someone picks it up 2 weeks later and they play it, the first things these DJs will turn around and say is, "Oh, you're late with that one. I'm not even playing that anymore. I want to move on to a new one."
And I feel that. I have felt that, and I don't appreciate it. So the way that my attitude is set up, it's best for me to have a seat for a little bit because I don't appreciate that at all.
Oh no, and I completely understand. What I was explaining to Gwenny, and we've made changes in our platform also when it comes to music. Like, you know, we don't put any and everything on our platform anymore. We have a committee. We have a steering committee of people that meet every single Monday to determine what our programming is for the next week.
Ooh, right? And that's another thing.
What's that?
Some of the music that is being played.
I know.
And it makes me feel like, not that I'm not the best artist in the world by far, but I just feel like, well, damn, if this is what's hitting, let me just I don't even want to bother. I just don't want to bother.
And Blez and I and Jason and I mean, all my artist friends, we talk about this and we understand that music is subjective. I totally understand that. I think when it comes to quality, there's just a certain level that I'm always looking for. And my one joke is how many people can be on the Amazon UK #1 chart at the same freaking time?
Right.
I'm like, how is 10 people posting today that they're #1 on the UK Amazon.co.uk chart?
Right.
Like, it just, none of it is making sense to me anymore.
Because there's no hard data, right? So because there's no hard data, it's a taste chart. Like, don't let anyone fool you, right? If it's not a taste chart, it's a payola chart. That means these artists will pay somebody in the UK or wherever it is to feature their music, promote their music, and then make sure it gets onto charts, right? We do a chart called Canada Black, right? Our Canada Black chart is a taste chart. It's literally a group of us that sit down and we say, hey, these are all the things that's in the chart right now. These are the new submissions coming in. What do we think? Where do we think this sits right now? Right? And we will move things in and move things out and move things around. But we make it very clear. It's a taste chart. And it's not one person's taste. It's not because the artists come to us directly. We collect our music from everywhere. We submit it into a pool and a group of us sit down. We talk about the music and say, okay, I think this should be it and that should be it. And believe me, I've had moments, and Patrick will attest to this. There was a particular song that I wanted to get out of number one, and they would not release it from number one. And I couldn't really argue for it because it was actually the best song around at that time. So it should stay where it was. But I'm like, we need to move some stuff around. Like, it's a taste chart, but we admit it's a taste chart, right? But the most important thing is it has to exist outside of your charting, right? Meaning that once it hits our chart, it then goes into our playlist rotations. And what I was saying to Gwendolyn is our playlist rotations now is going out 4 months, right? So you're going to be in rotation on the station for at least 4 months, at least, before you potentially could drop off, right? Because obviously you have to put new stuff on. But a lot of internet radio stations, you have to understand how internet radio works. A lot of these stations are about the explicit shows, not about the station in itself.
Yeah.
Right? It's about what that DJ is playing at that time, and people tune into the station for that DJ, and all he's going to do is blast through music. There's no continuity, there's no consistency, there's not other people playing stuff that they're playing. Some people maybe play the same stuff, but they're not connected. They're not talking. They're not having conversations. So it's a lot harder on internet radio based on that premise and that process. For someone like Sirius, makes sense, right? Their things move a lot slower. You get in rotation for much longer. It's commercial radio. If a bunch of people listen to it and they got the stats, if this sounds good and it looks good and they have their own committee said, hey, we're going to keep this in rotation because you know we've got data to show us that this is a stable song. Let's keep it going. They're going to keep it going, and you'll have advocates, right? So that's what we're trying to build at the moment, is this kind of advocacy. Yeah. Obviously, for us, you know, we're trying to highlight as many Canadian artists as we can because we're in Canada. Right? But we do have US artists in the chart, without a doubt. And we have artists from Australia, South Africa, from all over. But obviously, we're trying to tailor our content towards our market. We're trying to capture the Canadian market because we want to show these people that we're supporting their music. But at the same time, if it's good, we're going to play it. And we're going to keep it in rotation. We're going to keep playing it. Because that's really, really important. It's really important to have strong programming around that. I think Patrick's about to say something. He's about to throw up or something. Go ahead.
I was just going to say to Blez that, you know, send us your music.
Blez, we're not on Blaz's list.
We're not
You
on our
are
list?
on my list. Stop it. You are on my list.
Okay, let me rephrase this. I personally am on Blaz's list.
Oh, you okay, gotcha.
Jarzino's on Blaz's list.
Oh.
I'm not on Jarzino's.
Oh, the UK is, but we're Toronto's not. Okay.
Toronto's not.
iLive is definitely on the list, on the short list.
On the short list.
On the short list.
I was about to ask for the manager.
No manager here.
But you bring up some very legitimate issues. Okay, so here's a question for both of you. The landscape has changed. Like, there's no going backwards, right?
Yeah.
So what's the plan? What's the fix? What are you gonna do? Stop making music?
No. Well,
never.
Well,
No.
Blez definitely is creatively in a different place than me. But I've been where Blez is, where I feel like I'm writing every day. I still think a big part of it is on us as independent artists to put a little bit more emphasis on controlling the narrative. That's me. That's my opinion. So if I release 100 songs a year, then you guys are going to expect me to release 100 songs next year. So I do think that we have a little bit of control when it comes to the narrative of what we're going to release. I personally, I've never been one to release a lot of music, but as far as the way things are the way they are. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not gonna not put my stuff on the streaming sites. I'm gonna put my stuff on streaming sites. I'm also gonna put it on my website and hope that people, will maybe go there first. I do like the idea of putting it on your website maybe for 30 days first. or 60 days before you actually put it to streaming sites. I'm still going to send my music to DJs, but not that 6-page list that I originally.
Reduce that down.
I feel like it should be a partnership. I know that there are certain presenters that still play music from storytelling side one, who still play beautiful fantasy and the simple things. So I will forever hold them in my heart. And then I'm also looking at what are these stations doing, because when you play our music once or twice, you're not helping us. So I need you to stop saying it's all about the artist. It's all about you, Gwendolyn. You're underplayed, underrated. It's all about you. So I'm really looking at what the people do, but I've always been about connecting with my listeners. I've always been that way. So I'm not saying I don't need y'all, because I do, but I have
you actually don't.
Relationship with my listeners.
But you actually don't.
That's where I am, Gwenny. I am about trying to control the narrative. So that's why I have not felt the need to release anything. I want to connect with people that genuinely want to hear me. And as far as the chart, I don't care about the charts. I don't care about that stuff anymore. Because those things, when you think about those things, when you're talking about releasing music, it just took the fun out of it. And I want to go back to, I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be a drag. I don't want it to become a drag. And it had become a drag. And that's what I'm trying to move away from. So that's why I haven't released anything. I have new music. I actually have enough music to do almost a full album, to release a full album, but no.
So here's the interesting thing, and obviously we connect with a lot of artists. Shouts out to Jarrell, Raw Soul, etc. He's inside the chat room, and his comment was, Blez has a point, even though I spelled your name wrong. Blez has a point. A lot of tracks don't get a chance to breathe, which is true, but what does that even mean in this day and age? Like, I mean, and when I say that I'm not disrespecting anybody, but what does that actually mean in this day and age? Like, I look at other independent artists like yourselves who are slightly more advanced from where you are, and they're very much about controlling the narrative. If I look at Beat Child, for example, right? He's just put out his instrumental album. He hasn't put anything out for 5 years now, right? He's done tons of material, but he controls his narrative. He puts it out when he feels ready to put it out. I've been on his behind to put out Soul Movement 3 for the last 2 years. I know it's been ready for 2 years, pretty much. And he's like, no, I'm going to put it out when I'm ready, because his fans will be there waiting for him when it's done. Yeah. The thing I love about you, Gwendolyn, and you, Blez, is the fact that you have fans, so they will wait. So if anybody comes to you and says to you, it's all about you, it's about the artist, you need to put this stuff out, you don't have to put out shit. Do you understand? You don't have to put out shit. Because at the end of the day, people that are fans of yours are going to go get it anyway. None of these tastemakers, as they call themselves, or the people that have these charts, have any real influence anymore. That perception is gone. You put it out on your website first for 30 days for hit streaming services. Go for it. I would do that. I did that with the releases for iLive. Like, I put it on our Bandcamp first. That's the only one I put it on before it even hit streaming services. For at least 30 days. But I do
think you need to stay connected, though.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do this thing called The Show, and I'm doing a thing with Simon. Like, I feel like I've pretty much removed myself even from the people who love Gwenny. I just haven't been as active, and even, I used to go on Facebook every week and highlight new music. So I do think you need to stay connected to your people, because there's so many other people that they could choose from.
Okay, but who are your people?
I think my listeners. I'm not talking about my presenters.
Okay, exactly. So your listeners, right?
Yeah.
So you have something called, the Virgo Lounge. That's how you stay connected to your listeners, right?
Yeah.
The people that
I
appreciate
haven't been doing much in that space.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
But I'm telling you, you don't need any other platform to do that. That's all you. That's what I'm saying. That's all you.
That's synonymous with Gwendolyn Collins.
That's synonymous with Gwendolyn Collins. You don't need anybody else to do that. There's nothing else to connect. You're already there. Don't let anybody make you think any different. There's no new fans to go get. Trust me, there's no new fans to go get.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I feel as though I haven't even stayed connected.
Right. So because you haven't been posting very often inside the Virgo Lounge.
Yeah, I mean, I just haven't been doing much. I mean, we talked about that. This COVID thing is like riding on my back, man. It's just not feeling very pretty. But I do understand. I look at this as a business. I understand it. I don't care how creative I am, how much I love this. The minute I start putting a dollar price on my music, that it's now a business. So I feel like as a business person, I have not been advertising what I do as much. And it doesn't have to be a new release, but it could at least be a little more active in the Virgo Lounge.
I don't disagree with you not being more active inside the Virgo Lounge. All I'm saying is, and I think Blez will agree with me, that you really don't need to go outside the Virgo Lounge.
Oh.
That's my point.
I agree.
You don't need to go outside the Virgo Lounge. You really don't. Like, to me, and I've said this, Blez, I've said this to her many, many times. You know, she is a one-man wrecking army. If she just got it together, this would be done already.
Why you gotta do her like that, bro?
No, because me and her talk like this all the time. Like, it's straight. She's a one-man wrecking crew. She just needs to get it together. That's it. She doesn't need it. If you've got everything that you need, right? She has the singers, she has the musicians, she has the respect. All of that's already there, and you have a platform. Do you understand? Yeah. You have a platform. It's not like an artist is an artist. Like, you have a platform that highlights all these artists. There's an artist that sang at the Valentine's thing we did at the weekend called Isna.
Oh yeah, we like her.
Right. Okay. So she didn't even know you guys existed. Didn't even know you guys were in the same era. She didn't even know you guys were in the same city. She knows Blez by association. She's spoken to her a couple of times, but she didn't even know that the Virgo Lounge existed. But trust me, once I told her, I said, look, I can get you connected to those guys. She's like, oh, because I'd love to talk to those guys, because she feels on her own by herself in your own city.
Now, what's funny that you say that is that I do get a lot of people from the UK who are like, Gwendolyn, I got this artist. She's new. I told her all about the Virgo Lounge. I told her to send you a friend request, blah, blah, blah. Now, on one hand, it's wonderful. On the other hand, sometimes when I go listen to their music, I'm like,
hey, but that's your but that's your job as a owner of the Virgo Lounge. Like, you are a mentor, right? You're a person that understands what you're looking for. Like, not everything that hits the Virgo Lounge is going to get on the Virgo Lounge. And you know, sometimes these artists need direction. Sometimes these artists need, you know, extra resources. Sometimes they just need that extra advice to see, you know, I love your music, but I think you can change this, or I think you'll really be good on this. Sometimes that's all they need. Yeah. Or sometimes it's just to be included in something so they can learn. Like, you've got a great vehicle that you can leverage right now. You don't need anybody else other than yourself, a bit of organization, and a bit of time.
And keep sending us music.
And don't worry about Patrick.
Troublemaker.
Saying the same thing.
Yeah. Like,
I miss it though. I do miss it.
Jarrell says, pick a platform and stick with it. He's absolutely right. Like, the Virgo Lounge is done. Like, you don't even need iLive anymore.
Well, I don't know about that.
Listen, shut up.
Going a bit far there.
You don't even need us to help you.
Far.
When I say us to help you, I mean, we'll always help Gwenny. What I'm saying is that she has enough irons in the fire now that if she wants to go do something, she can go do it. Like, she needs extra resources to help her with some stuff, like market it or promote it. Absolutely, you know that, we've got you. But, you know, and we will partner up when it makes sense. Like, Soulfest 2021 is coming, right? We're going to do it again. We know we did it last time. We knew the mistakes we made, but it was still great. We'll do it better this time. We're going to do it again this year. We're going to do it in September, and we're going to partner on it again.
I want to host.
That's the partnership part, right?
Yeah, and that can we talk about that?
Talk about the partnership.
Can we talk about? I just want to reminisce on the Soulfest Lounge that we did virtually.
You talk about the Soul. It wasn't the Soulfest. Like, it was Soulfest.
The Soul Fest. I'm sorry. I always want to call it the lounge.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I still think about it. Actually, Blez, yesterday, I was thinking about when you were performing and how I was like, solemn promise. But it was so much fun because, right. And you looked at me and you started kind of laughing a little bit while you were singing. And I apologize for that. But what I loved about that, of course, number one was the opportunity to meet some new people and make some new connections. The second thing that I loved was that, Jason, you trusted me enough to actually recommend the artist. But that's it for me. I love the connections. I love that when the people came in 30 minutes early, they got to see my face. Mm-hmm. And I was there and I was rooting for them. Most of them, I was rooting for them.
Is light worker yours, Patrick?
It's what?
Who's light worker?
Light worker.
But when we talk about connections, like those are the type of things. Like it doesn't have to always be this big raha, big carnival, street fest. Like it really can be as simple, even though it wasn't simple in the background, is bringing these artists together online. And the one thing I noticed during that time, I felt like we were so connected to each other and we were rooting for each other in ways that I honestly had not seen outside of the Virgo Lounge and what we do here.
Well, and this is the thing I've said. And when we did the Soulfest Lounge in the UK, that's what I was trying to teach those guys over in the UK. I said, look, we can come together as radio stations and put on a show. And that's what we did. And it was successful, right? But, you know, it's very segregated over there. That's what I started to realize. And it impacts people trying to do something like myself. It impacts artists like yourself. It impacts people like Blez, who doesn't want to put music out now because of these incumbent attitudes of entitlement that seems to be there. I don't get it. I think it's stupid. And, you know, like I said, like I'm just going to do
I'm working on it. I'm working on my attitude.
Blez didn't say she didn't want to put music out anymore. She's going to do it for us.
No. She meant to the usual
for
mob,
other people.
The mob.
She's not going to do it for her, but for us, she's going to do it.
No, she's not.
I think especially when you give people like a roadway or a path. Blez and I have talked about this. Like, okay, the Virgo Lounge, yeah, it's called Virgo. It's not because we're all Virgos. I just thought the name was really funky. It started out as a radio show, or
yeah,
I don't know. But why don't other people do it? It's not mine.
But what? Of course, it's yours. I mean,
no, I'm saying the idea of having a collective. I am starting to see this artist. Her name is Mary Cross. I am starting to see like this collective between her and Cleve Jones and Tangeray Howard and Rena Chanel.
Yeah.
So I love seeing that. I'm like, yeah, these four are rooting for each other all the time. And that's kind of, that's what we did in the Virgo Lounge.
Right, yeah. But it's rooting for each other. Said, hey, this person does really good music. Go check them out. Then having an organized environment with a purpose. The Virgo Lounge has a purpose, right? Yeah. The Virgo Lounge is going to end up being a label, or the Virgo Lounge is going to end up being a festival, or the Virgo Lounge is going to end up being, I don't know, a music organization. Wherever you want to go, there's a path to it, right? It's really down to what you want to see as your path. Like when we did iLive, there was a path to it. iLive was never about radio. It was never about radio. Radio was just an aspect of it. Yeah, but it's done what it's supposed to have done. And it's really there to be a support system to people like yourself and Blez, etc., to be able to say, hey, that's a great idea. Let me see if I can expand on that and do it myself. That's what iLive was built for. We the ones that took all the blows and forged the path, and you guys came on top and was like, hey, this is great. Let's leverage what you're doing right now and do some stuff. And I'm very proud of you both, actually, I must say.
So here's a question for you, Jay. So as far as expansion, because the place that I am in now, and I was this way before COVID, I had kind of gotten to this situation where I felt like, can I curse? Or
yeah,
no?
you can.
I don't want to fuck with everybody no more, right? Because, I've dealt with some stuff. There's so many artists who just don't like freaking Gwendolyn Collins. Let's just be real. You either love me or you hate me. And I've gotten to the point where I'm okay with it. And one of the people who helped me with that was Alicia, you know, with really telling me, girl, you need to guard your heart, you know, see who you're dealing with. But because I feel the Virgo Lounge is bigger than me, and it's bigger than me and Blez, and it's bigger than me, Blez, and Alicia, I feel like the vision needs to be bigger. I feel like I do need to let more people in, but sometimes I'm scared.
No, man, you don't. Okay. You don't listen, you do not let, all right, but I want to say this, right? I'm going to say this. We've got 5 minutes left. This has been a great conversation. You know, we're probably going to do this again next week because I think there's a lot more to talk about with a few more people. But listen, you have to have a plan. What's your end game? If you don't understand your end game, you let people in, you're going to be sidetracked because there's no end game. You have to understand what the end looks like for you. If you don't understand that yet, you're not ready to go.
Okay.
Right? So I knew what the end game was for us. Our end game was that we're going to hold the very first soul festival, dedicated soul festival in Toronto. That was our end game. And we got there. And we said we have to put this in place, this in place, and this in place to get there.
So is that an end game or is that just a task within?
No, that was our end game.
I want to have the block party.
Yeah, but your block party is your end game. And it's not just one block party, right? You want to have a block party every single year, correct?
Yeah, I want to have the independent block party.
Right. So you wanted to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So during this period, you build your relationship. You got a relationship with us. You got a relationship with Simon Soul Gigs. You know, I'm sure you got a relationship with Soul Tracks. Do you know Kimberly Hines from Soul Bounce?
No.
Okay, so you need to go talk to Kimberly Hines from Soul Bounce. Like, these are people that you can connect with to be able to get to a point where the block party becomes reality, and it doesn't have to start big. Like we didn't start big with Soul Fest.
It's going to be in a church parking lot.
Yeah.
Remember I sent you videos?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because Jay was the first person when I just posted, I said, I want to have a block party. Jay was like, click, 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 tell me what you need. And I was like, don't threaten me with a good time. Because I'm sending you videos of where I want to have it.
Absolutely. And you can start small. Think about it this way.
Yeah.
Afrofest started in a community center.
Yeah.
With 30 people. Yeah? You have to start somewhere and know this is what I want, and then you start to do things to grow that. We got to our first festival, then we grew it, and we added pieces to it, and we grew it. So our festival has not only that the performance part, but we got the education part that goes alongside it, which is very important, empowering the artists. Forget the punters; it's about empowering the artists, right? So we're gonna have these educational pieces attached to it. So we're good. We got to our point. Just now. Now, people like yourself now can take that model and say, hey, I now want to do the block party. You understand? We can do the block party. Just 2022, we're going to do the block party.
I'm telling you, things like that make me real excited. Like when I start, because I'm a planner, I'm an organizer when I start thinking about stuff like that. But anyway, let me just say, Blez, thank you for rocking with me through it all, coming over to London with me. I am looking forward to the new song, even if it means you just send it to me and I don't share it with anybody.
I can do that.
Send it to me as well, and I will definitely play it and tell everybody they can't get it. I did that with the Glenn Lewis stuff.
And he will.
I will. I will play it and play it.
Then my messenger box is going to blow up, and then I'm going to be mad.
That's good. Then they say, refer everybody to me, Blez. Tell me I'm your manager, and everyone will shut the hell up. Trust me.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
It's been done already. Someone actually did that and said, hey.
I'm gonna do that.
I don't know what time this is over, but what I wanted to say to you, Jay, is
you got 20 seconds. You got 10 seconds.
Congratulations. Somebody
on the engagement. Thank you.
Oh,
I know, thank you. I appreciate that.
No,
seriously, I'm so freaking happy for you. I like the post and everything.
10 seconds.
Congratulations. I am wishing you an amazing marriage. I know that she is very lucky. I know that you are very lucky.
And cut. We're out. See you next time. Peace.
This is Felicia Temple, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Hi, I'm urban Christian artist Kayla James, and you're listening to iLive Radio. This is Atina, and you're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
Hey, this is your boy Easeman. You're listening to iLive Radio. Independent artists from around the world.
Hey, peace and blessings. This is Lucia D inviting you to join me each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. for Honey Drop here on iLive Radio. Journey with me each week as I spin the latest international sounds in new soul, R&B, hip-hop, and a little taste of everything in between. Every show features independent producers from across the globe in the beats beneath, and the 10 sweetest vibes of the week smooth out the night in the 10 Drop. Honey Drop, each and every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time, here on iLive Radio. Serving up audible treats like honey, always with a heavy beat drop.
Attention à tous les musiciens, groupes, associations, clubs et organisations qui représentent les styles collectifs de musique à travers la Canada. Le moment est venu de reconstruire nos genres de nations musicales collectives comme le hip-hop, le R&B, le jazz, le soul, le reggae, le gospel et plus unis. La Nation de la musique collective est une organisation à but non lucratif engagée dans le développement de la musique collective. Des adhésions gratuites sont disponibles dès maintenant. La Nation de la musique collective, une seule voix, la force dans l'unité.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Patrick O'Morris, and right here on iLive Radio, it's the Black Habits Radio Hour. And tonight, I've got a couple ladies who are some singer extraordinaires, and we're just going to spend the next hour or so just talking about their careers, as well as what's been going on in the music industry, the impact of COVID. And the trajectory of where everything is going. Kijali, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for hopping on and connecting with us.
Thanks for having me. Hi, Amoy.
Amoy, you
hey,
there?
Hey, guys.
Now, do you guys know each other?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay,
We're in the reggae industry. We know each other.
This is good. I wasn't quite sure if you guys knew each other, and if you did know each other, whether or not you even liked each other. Because there's been some times where I've bumped into some people, and it's like, they're like, oh, I can't do that show because that person's there, and there's beef or whatnot. So I'm glad you guys know each other, and you guys are cool.
We're cool. If Moy's on a show, definitely would love to be on it too.
All right.
Vice versa. And we've done that. We've done a few shows together.
Yes.
Okay, this is even better. So you guys can, give me some inside scoop on each other. This would be good. So for those who are joining us who may not necessarily know who I'm talking about today on the show, we've got, Gemini winner Keisha Lee. She sings gospel, reggae, classical soul. You kind of got your start in church, right?
I did get a start in church. I did. I don't really sing gospel right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not opposed to it, but it's not really what I do. I think some people think this latest single is a bit gospel-y, and I definitely have that in me because I grew up, not my younger years, but my teenage years, I started to go to church and play and sing and all of that.
Okay, so you got that soul training in church.
Yeah.
All right. And 4-time Juno Award nominee Amoy, you both of you ladies, you guys have been like all over the world, singing and doing your thing. When I stop and I think about the body of work that you guys have done over the last little while, I'm just kind of like a little bit amazed as to it's one thing about Canadian artists. Sometimes we don't necessarily get the recognition at home.
Mm-hmm,
Sometimes when you leave Canada and you go elsewhere, people might recognize you and whatnot. But at home, it always seems like there's a bit of a struggle to get a little bit of love. Do you guys?
Just Canada.
Yeah, it happens everywhere. I hear the same story everywhere. Yeah.
How do you find that? Is that something?
I mean,